Okay.
We actually, my bad, Connor. I did forget to tell you that we have to add the Titans at some point, or you do. But what is the Titans last?
Yeah, this is based on the, I think the finishing order from not this last season, but 2023.
How do you put the Titans on here?
We'll just do. Don't worry about it. We'll draw a picture for them.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that on my thing.
Dang. So we'll do that later, and he's gonna go look do it now. Man, what a professional! What a professional!
You should have told me that we had.
I forgot. Okay, we were yapping about stuff. My bad.
Let's see if I got Cam Ward in one of these things. Here we go.
Cam Ward's just the placeholder.
There we go. There's our Titan.
Cam Ward's the placeholder. There we go.
That's what I have.
We will take that.
We're starting off with the beautiful Arizona Cardinals. That is not their grade. So
yeah, no, God no.
This is their grade per NFL.com, but I think they had a great draft. But I'm gonna let y'all speak first.
It's still inflated though.
I think they had a great draft, but you can speak. Whoever wants to go first.
All right, I'll start off because I really only want to say two things. Walter Nolan at the 16, I had a feeling they would do it. Getting Will Johnson at the 47 really should not have happened, but I understand why he fell. Injury concerns, second best corner on the board, but falling to 47, that is A+ value just in those two picks alone. Rest of the board, I can't really say anything bad because there's two Ohio State players there, and if I say one thing bad, the bearded man down there can get me. So that's all I got to say to that.
I like this pick. Denzel Burke. I didn't know he was going to get drafted that late. I like Denzel Burke.
I think Denzel Burke in the 5th is a clear steal.
Yeah.
He does have some coverage issues, but he's an absolute beast when it comes to tackling and ball hawking. So I think, that in the 5th round, that's a real value pick. But overall, Cody Simon's a great person too. A lot of upside, but a lot of potential. He's going to need to do some work though to catch up to the rest of the league. Same as Sai said, Will Johnson falling that low too is kind of a great value pick too. So I'd give him a solid B in my head.
I think I had him at B+. I think I would probably just go B if we're not going to do pluses and minuses.
Let's go flat.
Yeah, because you have to be really conservative with these because all these are going to be A's and B's. I originally thought this was an A, but after I saw the rest of the teams, I was like, it's
more of a B.
I mean, Johnson at 47 is insane. Then Jordan Birch is not a guy that I was like super high on, but I know there were enough people who had him as like a top 60 guy, and they got him in round 3.
My least favorite team, I think, is next.
Dirty Birds.
D.
You didn't like this,
and it's not even because of the players necessarily. Because I think if you look at the players here, they got a good haul. Jalen Walker, I think it was just outside my top 10 on my big board. My problem with the James Pierce pick is not the player. I know there's some character concerns, more so just
the fact that you gave up a future first for him.
Exactly. When you could have
and that in itself,
like realistically, would you have rather have given up a future first when you potentially could be looking at 2 new starting tackles for 2026?
Right.
Because Jake Matthews isn't a lock beyond this year, and then Caleb McGarry is a free agent at the end of the year. And you give up a first-round draft pick next year to go and get James Pierce, which I think was a good, as far as like where I had him on my big board, good value pick. Why wouldn't you just trade it up, I don't know, like 4 or 5 spots and gotten Donovan Ezeraku? Like that to me would have been the much better play here.
I think James Pierce Jr. was my second best edge in this class. I think D's too low. Especially Xavier Watts
is a good pick, and then
I think that was fantastic.
I think Billy
Bowman in the 4th.
But I just hate the process. The process of being like, we're going to give up an extra first. But really, just
pick was great. I think every pick here is solid. It's just this pick right here that is the question. What you gave up to get him?
That move alone should dock them a ton of points for that.
Exactly, 100%.
NFL has him at a B. So I mean,
I'm thinking
I
of
could
C.
see
I don't think D. I think D's too low because you got really good players here for where you drafted them.
I'll concede on that. That's fine.
I'm good. I'm okay with C.
I think their first 4 picks are all pretty good. I just hate the idea of being like, yeah, we're gonna jump 20 spots.
I get it, but D's kind of low just for that one thing.
Go with
so are
C
we all
initially.
in agreement?
Go with C initially. We can.
Yeah, we can
worst
always
case scenario. We can change stuff around if need be.
Yeah. Right, who's our next bird team?
The Ravens.
Ravens.
Man, this draft class was great. I enjoyed this.
I mean, the Malachi Starks pick was just you could see it coming a mile away. You could see that coming from like a clean 5 miles out. My number 5 player in this draft. I think I have to dock the points. I had to dock him at least something for the Mike Green pick because I think it's not great when Ian Rappaport, like seconds after the pick, is like, yeah, like several teams had him off their board. And I saw a tweet by Bert Breer, which I thought was kind of interesting and he makes an interesting point. Some teams said something along the lines of, even if he was innocent, he's been in that position twice. So they had him off, which I can definitely understand.
Yeah, there's all sorts of character questions when we get to the draft day too, and
this is like more than just character concern. This is like alleged like assault. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not.
I'm not trying to take anything away from that either. I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying, 100%.
But I think Emory Jones.
Emory Jones was a solid pick.
I think he struggled this year. I mean,
third rounder for a SEC starting right tackle. I don't hate that.
But there was a lot of it was the Will Campbell show on that offensive line. So a lot of stuff was kind of watered down for Emory. If you go back and actually watch LSU, he struggled a lot this past year. So,
but that's
I don't hate him. But for a third,
for a third,
it's okay. Yeah,
their late round picks
I watch
are great.
a lot of SEC football.
Yeah, Peebles
and Team are really good value picks in the 6.
It's our dancing guy.
Yes, it's Warren Boy himself.
Those final 4 picks.
I know you see a kicker on there. You go, why'd take a kicker? We don't need to talk about that. If
more character concerns.
Current roster character concerns.
Yeah, I really like Bial Konai out of Western Michigan in the 6. This Malachi Starks with the 27 is really good value. Yes, we got Mike Green character concerns, but also look how many players on that board compared to other teams.
This is an A for me. I'm just gonna say
it's an A for me.
I think it's an A, and I like the fact that they're taking risks on lower tier teams.
You're being Patriots GM Jack Gaffney's being real harsh on the grades here.
That's a good thing.
Well, most of the time you get dinged for picking a kicker, but obviously with everything that they got going on with Tucker, it makes sense.
Yeah, Luke's a good kicker.
I don't actually deduct any points for that pick at all. It's questionable. That's the only thing.
Talk about a mediocre draft. We got the Buffalo Bills now.
No, they got my guy. DL Walker.
They got the zesty edge.
Yes.
The biggest bird.
Zesty edge.
Like a 90-inch wingspan.
But you took Jackson Hollis with your 5th round pick as a strict tight end, a blocking tight end. That's with a 5th rounder.
Do you want to restore
that for Georgia Tech?
Do you want to restore the feeling just running out of 13 tech or 13 personnel the entire game?
No.
You don't want to do that? I don't know why.
I'm okay. You could have gotten him at the UDFA.
You don't want 50 carries a game, 3 tight ends on the field at all, man.
Tight end attack the whole game.
The entire game.
I don't actually.
Power eye. Let's go.
You could do some really good power eye, but the draft's kind of mid. Maxwell Harrison, you probably could have got in the 2nd round.
CJ
Sanders, I like.
Concerns.
Leonard Jackson's and
it is kind of mid. I might give this one a D.
Yeah,
mid.
I was gonna say C. You could maybe talk me in the B, but I'll say probably C.
What do you think, Coach Skinny?
I'd lean more towards C. It's very average, right? It's very right there in the middle. It looks like they're filling in some of their potential gaps that they've got coming up, but it's just they could have done better, or they could have traded some of their picks to do some different things. So I
beefed up D tackle. They got another DB.
I will die on the hill that Deion Walker will be a guy for them.
Oh, he's like the only like
He was
shining
top
star
50
there.
for me. I was
think-
way higher on him than most, but I think he's gonna be a guy for them.
It's the same thing in the 5th round with Hancock too, out of Ohio State. It's a decent value pick for where he's at potential wise. They can take that risk in the 5th with him. He could turn into something real special, or he could be a slightly above average cornerback around the league. Probably a journeyman type guy. But yeah,
I'm gonna keep going for Kenny Glazes Ohio State players like Mel Kiper and
listen.
Sanders.
Oh, Nathan Ransom. Here we go.
Talking about Glaze.
Here we go.
We'll get to some Ohio State guys. Don't
All right, guys. I'm seeing a lot of parallel here with this draft class.
Yeah, so my initial reaction to the Panthers was a solid C. I wasn't really big on McMillan, especially at the 8 spot for wide receiver. I do like this. I can't pronounce his name. Scourton pick, the 2nd round guy from Texas A&M. I think he's Scourton.
Yes,
I think he's pretty decent.
Can you pronounce this one, Kenny?
I'm
No.
not even. Yeah,
Princely. He's a good guy.
Umanielen.
he will only ever be
Senior
Prince.
Bowl legends. Senior Bowl legends.
I didn't.
I liked Lathan Ransom out of Ohio State. Obviously, I'm going to say that, but yeah,
Really?
it's
Ohio
very
State?
average.
Really?
Hey, no, but in all seriousness, though, Ransom is a very good hitter, and he is able to play a little bit better coverage than Denzel Burke was this past season. So I do like Ransom a little bit better.
I really like these 2 picks, value-wise. Mitch Evan in the 5th. Jimmy Horn was not that bad for Shador. Yeah. I don't hate these 2 picks. I like them.
Yeah, but does that bump you up to a B, though, just on those last 2 picks?
Notre Dame guy bumps you down to an F. Like, what are we doing here?
No, Jack.
Now,
day one, was pretty good, though.
After day 1, I would say this was the D because I just didn't like the idea of them not going with an edge rusher. Then Dan Morgan said, we're just going to get 2 of them on day 2. And I don't hate the idea going with
Princely's arguably better than Scourton, and that's where I draw the line.
Friend of the program, Scott Karasik had him as his top outright edge period in his entire draft. I personally don't believe that. But
so what
I
are we thinking?
And then I would go A. I would go A. Actually, I thought this was a pretty solid.
You
draft.
think A?
The Panthers?
I was gonna go B on this one.
Because I didn't. I thought you had to go edge, and they got 2, starting caliber edge guys in day 2.
Okay.
Which is why I didn't like.
I could go B. I don't know if I go A. That's high.
Yeah, I think A's too high.
Yeah, we can go B.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
We got her.
Yes.
Oh,
the Bears.
You didn't get an Ohio State guy, but here, you lead it off.
First of all, I think Loveland was a stretch, especially when you had Warren right there available. I think Warren's the better tight end overall.
There it is.
Didn't hate the Burden pick necessarily. What?
Keep going.
Oh, sorry. But overall, I think it's a very average draft. I guess Loveland makes sense according to what I've been reading about Johnson's offensive system.
He does.
But I would still have gone for the better tight end overall. So I would give them a C, just based on that.
I would go lower.
I don't like their late round picks.
Ruben Hypotley.
Ruben Hypotley.
That was one of the
really bad pick.
4 through 7.
That was a gigantic reach.
This can't be higher than a D, Kenny. Come on, what are we talking?
I agree. You're right. Because you know what? I would have traded
no
the farm. I would have traded the farm to move up to get Genty too. So you're right.
They were trying to do that apparently.
Did you need this pick with your first? Did you need this pick in round 2?
Luther Burns they get open over the middle. It's going to turn like these 2 more games.
Only 2 good picks are Shamar Turner and Austin Trapilo, and that's saying something.
Austin Trapilo, I'll give you a nugget about him. He's worked with Dante Scarnecchia, iconic Patriots offensive line coach at BC, because he'll just go to BC every couple times a week and work with the offensive lineman with Bill O'Brien. So I think that was a really good pick. Loveland's going to be like if he's the guy in that offense by the end of the year, I would not be stunned. He's just the guy who will get open.
He just seems like a copy and pasted Cole Kmet.
No, he's a strict move tight end.
Yeah, he plays a lot more vertical.
Yeah, he's gonna be really good for them. I like Burden as a guy who can be a yak machine.
Okay, well I can't go higher than a D. I don't know about y'all.
I think
really I like this draft a lot.
I don't know how you like it, but
I liked it. But if we're gonna,
I don't hate the Bears or anything.
We're gonna look at everything.
I don't like the draft.
I'm D next.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. I actually like this draft.
You overrate teams and then hella underrate them too.
I'm sorry. I don't agree with the Loveland pick at all. I know it should work out for Johnson's offense, but I hated it. I'm sorry.
I would have probably liked to see him go tackle first, but I think once Banks came off the board, that probably kind of.
I get it, but then you could also move back and stock up the picks, which is what the Bears have been doing the past couple of years. But nope, we just decided to go for Loveland.
I mean, there wasn't really a lot of teams trying to trade up, though. That was
That's
the thing.
true. You're right.
Okay, we got the Bengals.
D.
I don't hate this draft.
Yeah, D.
D. They stretch
I like
picks.
the
I
Shamar
really
pick.
like this pick.
Demetrius Knight, I think, will be solid for them. Like a line guy.
That's
But,
a
like,
guy.
They even admitted on air that they know it's a reach, but that's been their guy for a while, so they kind of had
Barrett
to go for it.
Carter in the 4th.
This
We don't
time
got
last
that
year,
time, fellas.
this
We
This
don't
is
go D,
just
we
such
can
a
go next.
boomer bust prospect. You
no,
don't know what you're getting.
you can throw him on the interior. You can throw him on the edge. Yes,
I know where you can throw him, Jackets, if he's going to produce wherever you're throwing him.
And I don't think he will. I don't
It's
think
a
he produces
production
on the
question.
inside. In
Not
the NFL,
a-
I don't think he's an inside guy. I think he'll struggle a lot. And especially they're trying to replace Sam Hubbard at this point, right? So I don't think
Yeah, Sam Hubbard was not great.
And Logan
not great,
Wilson
but I don't
wasn't
think
that
Stewart
great
fills
either.
that gap either.
Logan
Oh, he
Wilson
was-
wasn't that great either.
He's a pure off-ball backer. That's not what Shamar Stewart is.
Well, you have two linebackers right here.
Yeah, I think this.
Anyways,
Yeah, this to me
D.
This is
I
one
can't
of
go higher than a C, but if y'all want to go D, that's fine.
the
Feel
C or
like
D.
this
I'm
is a
not really gonna fight you here.
Coach Kenny, it's your segment.
I say D.
Okay.
Bang. Next.
Oh, here you go, Si. This is all you.
All right, y'all. This is my F. And you're looking at it and you're going, oh, but Mason Graham's a really good pick. Schweizinger with the first pick, the second is really good. Quishon Judkins going to be a stud. Fannin in the
I really like
third,
that.
even though you really don't need a tight end, but they're going to play him everywhere. You look at the top 4 picks. You go, okay, those are great picks. But then you look at the bottom 3 picks and you go, why is Dylan Gabriel a
This is
third-round
good.
quarterback?
They burned a top 100 pick on Dylan Gabriel.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that one more. Okay,
gotta
I think
dock him.
Yeah, no.
Dylan Gabriel,
94 to be
an objectively good college quarterback. At what point in this process was he ever considered a top 100 guy?
But his initial ball speed was 75 miles an hour.
He's also 5'11", 5'10", maybe.
That's fine.
That's on the stat sheet too. You know he's shorter than that. Like,
I've actually stood next to him, and I'm about 5'9.5" myself. And he's about my height.
right.
He was shorter than me.
Drew
Guys,
Brees was like
yeah,
5'5". He
good
was
guy.
fine.
Gapped him up. He was a great guy, great fella. But
No, I'm not saying anything about his character or anything like that. I like the guy. He's a solid guy,
Mhm.
and he might be a solid leader. But he's now in a full
Backup.
quarterback room that also
They
has
drafted a
Shadur
quarterback
Sanders.
after him that's better than him. Like, what are we
Right.
doing here?
yep,
They
If we're gonna go on-
they traded back to get Mason Graham when they could have gotten Travis Hunter.
They could have gotten Travis fucking Hunter.
That alone should
They
not
waited-
get you
no.
higher than a C at
They
all.
waited until the last possible second to be like, yeah, we don't want Travis Hunter.
Mhm.
And so the Browns were
Jaguars
going brown.
said, "Hold my beer, I got you."
Like, and the sad thing is, those first 4 picks are all really good. That's the sad thing here.
That's just,
I would have gone Travian Henderson over Quinton Judkins, but still really good first 4 picks.
And you traded up to get both your quarterbacks. So you burned draft capital on Dylan Gabriel and you burned draft capital on Shador.
Like, if
I'm
you
just
knew
gonna
you
put
were going to
that
get
out there.
Shadur, which I don't think they were going to. I think that was
they
Jimmy
guilt
Haslam.
trip. They did. I think I've
100% of Jimmy Haslam ball.
Yeah, the way that room reacted once they picked him, that was the ownership.
So what are we thinking here for the
So
Cleveland?
that's why it's my F.
D.
I think it's a D. I could see
That
it being
low?
helped.
I'm good with that. I'm okay
Cy
with
was
that.
so close to
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
him here.
We almost got it,
this-
guys. But I can.
this
They
is-
I'm
this-
a-
they should be
Atlanta was
punished
the
for
first step.
skipping on Hunter. Like, I don't know how you
Thank you.
pass on a generational
I
talent
don't-
like
Thank
that.
you.
I don't know. I don't know
No.
why. The last they had 5 months to
Ooh.
be like, do we want to do this?
Yeah, I don't know how Dallas gets an A- either, though.
Listen,
All right,
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
pick's
I
a
was-
reach.
I was got out best.
If they-
That's a pretty good pick. That's
Listen.
a pretty good pick.
It brings me no joy to say this, gentlemen. This is an A. This is absolutely an A.
I'd go B.
In my mind.
I'd go
So
B because
in my mind this is an A, but if you want to call this a B, that's fine.
You reached on Booker, and the
I
rest
agree
is
that
good.
Ezra Robertson Rebels really good value. Jaden Blue is honestly probably going to be their leading running back man of the year.
Yes,
I feel like Shamar James a little bit of a reach, but I love what he did at Senior Bowl, so I'm good with that. Slight reach.
My thing with Booker is yes, he's
Johnny Cornelius is 6th though. You double dipped on OTs when. I mean, okay.
Well, they are trying to rebuild their offensive line, though. They've had a lot of issues the past couple of years, so it makes sense to kind of double dip in this one. But
and like
because this draft was heavy on the offensive line, so it does make sense. But I could go B.
I can go B. I just don't love the 2 DTs he took in the late rounds. I don't really love either of them.
Their D line was not good outside of Osa.
Exactly. So I mean, it's like
their interior was crappy.
Their
bodies were defenders on that entire team, and you just added 2 instant starters with your.
That's why I can't give them an A because they waited so long to draft a tackle.
No, but listen, they needed another edge rusher. You got Donovan Ezeraku. You might have the worst corner room in the league. I'm sorry. Dewan Bland and Trevin Diggs. Those are 2 Dollar General brand Asante Samuels. They exclusively
okay. Texas, Dallas,
and now you just got a big body outside corner who can line up and play really good. And, now, granted, the thing with Rebel, even beyond the ACL, is that he really only had like the 1 year of starting experience. But like, if you're looking at like the prototypical number 1 outside boundary corner, it kind of looks something like him, like mid 190s, 6'3", long arm span.
All right, what do we think about the Broncos?
I love the Janae Barron pick.
I like the Pat Bryant pick, actually.
Pat Bryant, it's another great pick. Yeah,
I think that's a great value pick, and I think that fits the offense very well.
Everybody was saying that RJ Harvey with the 60th would be a stretch, but
it was. But I like the player, so I have no.
It's a little bit of a reach.
Sean Payton's going to make this kid a monster.
Oh, maybe not.
That's the hope. That's the hope.
The fact that they're going to be able to throw Janae Barron literally in any secondary position now, because you have Pan, Moss, and then Hufanga roll down the box, so you can literally throw him wherever.
So odd, yeah,
crazy. Like that to me, that's the best secondary in the league.
You get that pointer off the punter. You get that pointer off the punter.
I think right here you kind of just are praying which one of them is better, because once Harold Perkins got injured, he really didn't live up to what he was supposed to this past year.
True.
I've heard really good things about Quay Robinson. I know he hasn't really been like a big starter, but I think there's a lot of potential with him just based on the things that I've read.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of upside. It just depends on how.
And then, how about being the punter that gets drafted to Denver? How about that? That's got to be like, you see the Denver area code, and it's like, oh, we're gonna be putting up 70-yard net bombs over the next 4 years.
I don't hate the punter pick. I don't
either.
Pick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a good B.
This is like high end to B for me. This is a very solid job.
Almost an A. I really like that one.
This is great.
The
Just
more
a
you
couple
look at
reaches.
it, the better it looks. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
On the topic of reaches.
I'm sorry.
I'll be the first one to say
this
Tyreek
draft
Williams
was pure cheeks. I'm sorry.
I'll be the first one to say Tyreek Williams. That was a stretch. I think he was a mid.
Isaac Tesla, you are a major
reach.
This was such cheeks. Oh my god!
You say he's a reach.
Also,
at this point, I'm willing to trust the Lions. If they think
I'm really trust the Lions too, but you kind of have to.
I am more than willing to give them the benefit of the doubt.
This was cheeks. I'm sorry. I'm not giving nobody the benefit of the doubt. This draft was reach.
I had Williams as my number 37 guy, just for reference.
Low key reach.
Okay, so early second then. Okay.
Yeah, like that's me with like end of the first round. You don't think he's going to be there with your second round there. I have no.
Yeah, this was an early second.
Yeah, they got Ratledge. I think that's a good fill in for who did they just lose? Zeitler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought about Roger Saffold for some reason. Like that. Can't
I don't even think they got the best wide receiver on Arkansas. I thought Armstrong played a lot better this year.
And Armstrong went undrafted.
And he went undrafted. Was it a player issue or?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know because he played I watched Arkansas several times this season, especially at home here. Armstrong was a lot like the wide receiver.
So then, is it the body of work? Did Armstrong not have good of season?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But this is the first time I'm hearing his name with the round 3 on it. So I think
I heard a little bit about him like at the very end of the process, and people were like, "No, this kid's kind of solid. People should be talking about him more."
Oh well, this looks cheap to me. I don't know what y'all want to go
on paper. You kind of got to put this.
I'm thinking D.
Based on the scale we have, I'd say C. This is a fine draft, not great, but definitely not awful. I think there were worse.
Coach Kenny, don't let Tyleek Williams persuade you.
He's good.
Coach Kenny, this is your segment. You can let Tyleek Williams persuade you. We want to put it in C. We put it in C.
All right.
I think it has potential, and like Jack says, you got to trust the Lions at some point because what they're doing right now is working. So
yeah, if that doesn't work out, then so be it. But I'm absolutely willing to let that one ride out.
All right, Green Bay. The first time since 2002 they draft a receiver in the first round.
I didn't hate that pick either.
Yeah, he was my number 1 pure receiver in this draft. If you take out Hunter,
There's no way the Saints fans chanting "Go Pack, go!" That's crazy.
No, I actually very much dislike the Packers because of MJ Hurley, but it was in Green Bay this year, so you have to give credit where credit is due.
No,
and they did.
I was fully expecting that that meme of the people at that watch party for the British national team is throwing tons of beer in the air once they scored. That's what I was expecting when they made the Matt Golden picks. I'm pretty sure I was tipped off to that. And then Mark Murphy did the whole drawn out for the first time in 20-something years it's a receiver.
I know he was that NC State. He was really good. Was this a bit of a reach? I don't know if
I think it's a slight reach. But he is a solid tackle.
Let me pull up the
ton of upside, but I think even in the second round or mid-second round,
Jordan Morgan reach.
So what pick number was Anthony Belton?
54.
He was consensus 91 in the Aretha song.
Okay,
so another Jordan Gaffney here.
Another Jordan Morgan pick. Is that his name?
Yes,
that's his name, right?
Yeah,
got drafted in the first round. Yeah.
I mean,
I've heard very mixed things of Xavier Williams out of TCU.
I don't mind.
Very mixed results on him too. I'm not 100% sold on him.
I've heard good things about the Texas edge. And then
Colin Oliver, I like him. He's a stud.
I think that's a good value pick. I think where you made mistakes in 2 and 3.
They didn't go corner at all in their first 3 picks. That was a bit of a shock to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more I look at this, the more I realize it is kind of cheeks. But not as cheeks as I don't know if it's worse than the Lions.
Well, because I hate the Packers, I think it's a D. So
no, it's valid.
It's not. I don't think it's that bad, Kenny. But
listen, that's fair.
I think it's worse than the Lions.
Let the hate win. Let the hate win. I have no problem.
Y'all put the Lions.
You kind of got to put we got to put the Packers in C at the lowest.
I think it's a C. And if you're going to rank inside really there, I'd put them ahead of the Lions. Then, if you're going to rank inside the tier, I'd put them ahead of the Lions.
All right, we got to go fast, y'all. We are already over.
Do we though?
Yeah, it's our show though. So low key, I thought about it and I was like, well, we're running the show today.
This
is the Texans.
Who cares? Okay,
I
kind of love this.
I kind of love this just for the Graham Mertz pick. Just for the Graham Mertz pick.
Honestly, I would. I
like the Jalen Reed pick too. I don't hate that.
They took both the Iowa State receivers.
Yep.
And that's
see them take 2 receivers makes my heart break.
Lockie in the 7th round, beautiful pick.
I really like this draft.
It's gonna be.
I think it's.
I'll play the Graham Mertz pick. This was a very solid draft.
Yes,
but Woody Marks was another.
But Quinn Ewers was there,
this is my guy right
Quinn
here.
Ewers. No, we're not talking about Quinn Ewers. Get out of here, Quinn Ewers.
No, Quinn Ewers. Sorry.
So what do we do? I really like this draft. I'm inclined to say
I'll say
top, bottom.
I could say. I think it could be A, bottom of the A.
I don't think there was any S tier drafts, just for the record. I know.
No, I totally agree, Jack.
Do we think the Texans had a better draft than the?
To me, there's only 2 teams I'd even consider for S, and one of them is my own. So I don't want to be biased.
Do we think the Cardinals had a worse draft than the Texans?
I think
That's
the Texans
question.
did slightly better than the Cardinals. That's why I have
Yes,
them in
because
A.
they addressed every need.
I'd flip,
So
but I
then-
have no problem going with you guys here since there's 4 of us.
Okay, perfect. All right. Quit laughing over there, Kenny.
Fucking Notre
I
Dame
see
guy.
what you're looking at.
Man,
I like Tyler Warren. I like JT. I think this is a good draft too. There's some stretches.
I
towards the bottom.
didn't understand the Justin Wally pick. That just might be me though.
They took
I-
Riley Leonard. This has to be an F. This has to be an F.
Quit
My hands are
Jack.
tied.
I
hands
think
are
this
tied.
is not a bad pick at all.
They took Riley Leonard. Like my hands are tied. What do you want me
In
to
the
do?
6th
But
round.
in the 6th, it makes a
Hunter
lot of
Walker,
sense.
yeah.
It makes
Tom
a
Brady
lot
was
of
taken in the
sense.
6th.
Nice.
Don't
Oh
disrespect
my
the 6th
gosh.
round.
Jalen Travis is going to nice value.
Oh my
OT.
gosh, this is a good draft.
This is a good draft.
Giddens could be
Jalen
good.
Travis, solid.
I would say B
I
or
like
C.
Giddens, even Giddens
like
is
B.
pretty solid for
I
a
like-
5th round pick.
I don't really like Tim.
I don't know.
Though.
Did he? Was he like the forefront of that Kansas State offense this year?
Well, there wasn't much of an offense, so I would say yeah.
So-
Well, they
yeah.
were pretty good compared to the rest of the Big 12.
True. They did pretty
So
decent.
they had to do something.
He wasn't even the best
offensively.
running back out of Kansas State.
I was gonna say
Oh,
the
yeah.
Kansas running back did a
Yeah,
phenomenal
Just
Devin
wait
job.
till we
Yeah,
get
they
there.
do.
Just wait till we get there. Just wait.
Devin
Till
Neal's
we
I would
awesome.
say they're
So
a
B.
solid B.
So B.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. All right. Oh, here we go. All right, Si.
Shout out my guy Gladstone. I'm in on Gladstone. That dude's one of the executives.
Thank you.
This, this
I don't
dude
need.
had
I don't need to say
the
anything.
balls to
I
like
like
his very
these
first
picks.
draft.
This was
His-
I
Ronnie,
like
you're
that.
spot on with that. 100%.
His very
Monheim,
first draft was like
Monheim
we're
in
gonna
the
trade off and we're gonna
7th?
draft
he
Monheim.
he
That's
he
it.
took
Damn.
guys that are going to just do what they do best and are going to make this team better, and they fill positions of need. They have 2 now. They have 4 great running backs in the room. They shot 2 in.
I'm not sure about rootin' tootin' here in the 4th, but
Rootin'
you know,
Tootin'
I was gonna
is
say
go
that,
off.
that seems like a little bit of a stretch.
You go
Like,
off.
but
And-
that was their guy. That
and
was their guy.
Kaiser's
The
a
whole lot.
slight stretch.
I
Just a slight stretch.
Oh,
Rootin'
I
Tootin'
didn't
in the
say
fourth.
Notre Dame guy. That's my
Wyatt
fault.
Malone is a really good. He's a really good pick in the 3rd.
He's ended up switching the guard, but he was a good tackle.
I
Well,
really
you-
liked
you
Ransaw.
also-
at the
you
Senior
had the
Bowl.
Stones-
Ransaw, Raekwon Lane in the secondary.
You
Jack
had the Stones
Kaiser.
to move up and take Travis Hunter, who
Yeah,
was probably the generational pick of this draft, minus
They
maybe
gave-
Abdul
I
Carter.
didn't have him as generational, but if you want to call him that, I have
He
no
was
problem.
definitely the
Of-
best
of
prospect
this
in this
draft, though,
class.
like,
Yeah,
if
like
there's-
he was
if
clearly
you
the
count
best.
all 257 picks,
Yeah,
He's
he
gonna
was.
play both
the
he's
best
the
guy.
guy. He's
Yeah,
him.
He's gonna play both.
To
sides.
me, there was a gap between him, just in general, to Abdul Carter and Ashton
Yeah.
Jeanty.
So what do we
I
think?
I think
I think it was a fine draft after the Hunter pick, but the Hunter trade was just like robbing Cleveland blind and doing.
100%. They did
Yeah,
it,
so,
a master class on that. So I
and so if you
I'd
guys
probably
want to
put
make
them
this
in
an A, I'm fine with it.
I
Because
say
that was a lot of stones to do that as like a 30-year-old
La-
GM in your first.
I'm
first
giving it
draft.
an A. I don't like the rootin' tootin' pick, but I love these 2
Rootin'
picks down
tootin'.
here. So
Those
I'm
the
gonna-
2
I'm
7th
gonna
round picks
look
are
past
great.
it.
Hunter's great.
bunch of guys
I
who
still
can.
think
A bunch of
Kaiser's a
guys
bit
who
of
can
a
play
stretch,
multiple
but it's good.
positions.
This might be the scariest red zone offense in the entire league by the end of the year.
the Chiefs.
This is gonna disgust me, but this is an A.
Yeah, this is absolutely an A. This is a great
This
draft.
is apps. This is
Gillette
100.
best a man can get.
This is 110% an A.
He was
Because
I
my
was-
look at
favorite
those last
linebacker.
Jeffrey
three
Basla in the
picks.
5th is a genuine steal. I got
Steal.
Rashard Smith
Yeah.
in the 7th.
Jalen Royals in
is
the 4th was a steal. Noel Williams.
This is like knocking
And-
on S tier to me.
And Josh Simmons he'll be a great offensive tackle in the
He's a-
NFL.
This
He
to me was
perfect-
probably
he
the
was
third
the-
best
He's
draft in
going
the
to keep
entire league.
Mahomes
Yes.
upright, and
This
they're
was
going
the
to
third
love
best
him.
draft.
They're going to
for
love
sure.
him in Kansas City.
This
I
is
get-
knocking on S tier to me.
I like the 2 gambles right off the back. I feel like at 32, taking a chance on Simmons with the knee, especially because like he's not going to start there.
Omar Lot is a good gamble.
Not right away, but he'll develop
Yeah,
into
exactly.
the guy.
Yeah, and I think Andy Reid said we feel like he can play.
I watched.
You have a veteran
He's a
at
really
tackle
And
right
then-
now. Who'd
Omar-
you just sign?
and
Juwan
Morgan-
Taylor?
Yeah, you have him, and then you have the kid
But-
from San Fran.
Just like Fryer, he can move into guard too, though.
Exactly.
Very easily. Very easily.
We
actually.
can.
I put the Chiefs at an A for sure.
And yeah, this
It's
was one of my
knocking
favorites.
on S to me.
It's
It-
knocking though.
It's knocking. I don't think that
Knocking.
any team got an S tier, but it's
Yeah.
knocking.
Look at us, guys. Normally we have 4 teams in that spot now. We only even have 1.
Like,
We're really improving. We're really
adding
improving.
Norman Lott to a D line that just did not have a lot of pass rush juice outside of Deshaun Wharton last year. That to me was a tremendous game. Like, even if that doesn't work out, I like how they took the risk on that.
Well, we
This
don't take
one
5
has
years
me-
to get through this if we don't keep going.
This-
We're going to the Raiders.
This was another draft this was my number 3 draft in the AFC.
I can see being a solid A. I love Genty. The wide receiver out of TCU is pretty solid too, especially for a two pick. Even their bottom pick.
Seeing Caleb Rogers go in the 3rd round makes me really
Charles
happy.
Grant was a good pick. They needed another tackle.
I like Lindenberg too out of Minnesota. I think he's pretty decent.
Yes, sir. We do love Cody Lindenberg
That's
around
your
here.
guy right there.
That's
I'm not
my
sure about
guy.
Cam Miller down here, but
JJPs.
But in the 6th
You're
round,
ready
taking
for
a quarterback from North Dakota State,
All name
it's
team
okay.
Tonka Hemingway.
this
That's all first
this
team.
guy
Might be
oh.
the best name in the draft. And then
Oh,
Pete
he
is
went to the
team.
freaking Eagles. That tush push would have been insane. With
Cody
JJ
Lindenberg's
Pickens.
he's a running the ball himself. He's a running
Yeah.
the ball himself.
He's gonna
Yeah.
get fullback snaps, and it's gonna be
100%.
This is a great draft.
I think it's
I'm
an
not. I don't know
Both
where
will-
William and Mary is,
and
but
Cam Miller
when I
could be
heard this pick, I
quarterback,
was
good
like,
quarterback
"Where's
play.
William and Mary?"
Yeah,
All right,
Charles
what do you
Grant
think
is
for
a
the
guy I
Raiders?
know a lot of people like.
I go
A
A.
or B. Whatever you guys
I like
want to
A.
go on.
I like A.
Okay,
You guys-
Coach Kenny said A. All right, let's keep going. Charges.
Listen,
Mm,
listen, brother.
mm.
Chills, brother. Chills with that first pick. Chills. We are going to run the ball 55 times a game. 3
This is
tight
a
ends
great
in the field
draft
all the time.
class. This is a
Merritt
great
Hampton
draft
and
class,
Najee Harris are going to break carries per
man.
game.
Him in the 5th round's really good. He was really good for Syracuse this year.
I like the guard Taylor out of Pittsburgh. He's pretty good, especially with the 199 pick. I think that's a pretty good value.
I saw Kyle Kennard give Will Campbell the business from their game last year. I think he has a chance to be pretty solid for them.
Jamar
then I like-
Caldwell's a great guy.
And then I think Trey Harris has some upside.
I think it's a solid B.
Yeah,
like
this
B.
is the B.
The Rams. Oh,
Yeah.
this just
They
is
got-
cheeks. Oh
they
my
got-
gosh.
They got Chris Paul Jr. in the 5th. That was one of the
That's
best.
a great
deals.
pick. Yeah, that's
That was one of the
their
best picks of the
here.
That's
entire
a good
draft.
pick.
This rest is cheeks.
Josiah
I don't think
Stewart.
there's much to say.
He was my number 39 guy in this class. I was way higher on Josiah Stewart than anyone else.
I'd go D.
I go C.
Then they
I
get
think it was
the
slightly below average.
didn't they get a future first rounder though? Am I wrong?
I think so
I'm-
They got a
I wanna
future
say you're right.
I can compromise with C.
because they were the team that traded with the Giants, right?
I think
Yeah,
so,
you're
but
right.
I think it has to be a D simply because who they took in the 2nd round.
Sure, James Ferguson was
This-
the
Oh,
first.
yeah.
big
You want another
reach.
Gladstone story? Because apparently he sniped that pick before it even happened in the war room for the Jacks.
I gotta go D. It's a
Someone's like, "Oh yeah, who do you think they're
I
taking there?"
gotta
And he's
go
like,
D.
"Terrence Ferguson." Like instantly, and then sure enough, it was Terrence Ferguson.
All right. Oh, this was such cheeks too. I think this was a great pick.
That's super high value for that one.
Yeah.
I really like Ollie Gordon. I don't know how he fell so far.
I
I mean,
don't either.
It was this time
I had
last
him
year.
in
People were
3rd
talking
to
about
4th, but yeah, this time
Zeke
last year he
Biggers.
was so high up. I don't know.
I like the Kenneth Grant pick. You needed another guy in that defensive line rotation.
Personally, I think Quinn Ewers should have gone undrafted, but that's just me.
You're gonna have
Talk
2
about it.
Jay
Talk about
Phillips in your defensive lineup.
Savanea, they jumped the Patriots for him, so I'm pretty sure that the Pats were going to take him. So I can kind of understand why you would want to go for him.
This is
Yeah.
not higher than a C to me, though.
Yeah, I had
It's
this as a C.
It's got to be a C.
This is a C.
It wasn't like a bad
Shout out
draft. but it was-
Dante Trader though. I know that Jack and I had a slight
like
disagreement
him.
on it. I know the value is not good for him.
Yeah,
to be
that
a
was a
first
big
rounder,
reach.
more center guy, but
Oh, it's a reach, but I like him as
he's
It's a reach,
he's
but
Yeah,
it's a solid reach. I mean, I'm okay with
Yeah.
it.
Oh my cheeks. What the heck did they do?
They did not take one singular defensive back. That's what they did. Not one.
That's what they needed, secondary. What are
They
you
needed,
doing?
they needed another interior guy, which in fairness they didn't get. They got Donovan Jackson, but
Trading for Jalen Ramsey, question mark?
no.
No, I don't see that
This is
happening.
cheeks. This might
I
be
think-
the
I
worst
think-
draft.
No.
I think
This
it's
is pretty
D.
close.
I think it's a D.
It's D.
Yeah,
It's
this,
not the
yeah,
worst
this is
one.
a
I
D.
can see
Only
the
only
argument
one
for
is
how,
gonna go.
but-
Only one is gonna go in there, and we're not there yet.
Okay. This one's gonna go there.
No, this is an A draft.
This is an A draft.
How do you
Kyle
feel
Williams-
about
Kyle
releasing
Williams
Once again,
might
the
be wide receiver
Patriots,
one.
the Patriots just know how to draft. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
Even though you might have taken
Long
the wrong
snap,
kicker.
I had tears in my eyes when I saw Long Snapper in the 7th, man. Tears in my eyes.
mean, I was excited you guys got Travion. I mean, that was.
I didn't think he was even be there.
Nope. No, not at all. I was very.
This was a great pick. This was a good pick.
Kyle
Williams. Every single major
also Craig Woodson.
But I mean, you look at it, there aren't any reaches.
You'll like him.
That to me was
all
the
solid
worst pick that they made, but I don't even think it was a bad pick. I just don't think he was not a safety that they needed.
I agree, Kenny. There's not really many reaches in this draft.
There's tons of grit in every single pick. I mean, minus the kicker, obviously. But I mean, this is about as solid as you get.
You put some respect on Aurora Borealis. Put some respect on Aurora Borealis.
I'm just saying, kickers don't have grit. That's all.
That was like one or two best drafts. Entire, draft.
Drafting the quarterback.
There's so many people that y'all drafted that I love.
In the second round is.
Now I did a show on this Tuesday.
Booty.
Great pick. Great pick. Great pick. Great pick. Great pick.
Quincy Riley.
Pick. This was a solid draft if it started right here. Kelvin Banks wasn't bad, but these two.
You had to take him at 9. That was the obvious.
I understood the pick if they're going to play him right away. But taking Brennan Brogdon with your third, I'm sorry.
This was a reach, but this was a big reach.
That was.
I think Shug is the biggest reach of the draft, honestly.
But Shug outside of, I guess, Cam Ward is the most NFL ready and who can.
I would hope
he's going to play week 1 and he's going to have to just figure it out.
This is definitely not the biggest reach of the draft. But it's a reach.
It's some hyperbole there, but it is ridiculous.
If you're gonna trust the Lions with what they're gonna do, trust Kellen Moore, who just won a Super Bowl, exhibiting Jalen Hurts' strengths on the football field. So I would trust him. I would trust him.
But the Lions have a track record of earning that trust consistently with the head coach. Kellen Moore's first go as a head coach, right?
Yeah.
He's also coaching a very mediocre roster.
He's got to have his guy, right?
He just needs bodies.
And he got bodies.
Guy, and his GM is one of the 10 most wanted people in this country.
Yeah, his GM sucks. But this pick, A+.
Yes,
to me.
I know a lot of draft people who love themselves some Devin.
The pick right above
man.
He's one of my favorite running backs in this draft. And
Kelvin Banks was my top tackle, and they got him at 9. That was a great pick.
Now, I graded this a B, but I wasn't really that biased, but I could see it being in the C category. But personally, I graded this a B.
I would say C.
Because of the value of some of the picks.
Yeah, it's not a bad draft.
Not great value, but
I see your argument, Connor, but I'd still have to go C. That's second round.
It's fine.
I would say every single team in B definitively had a better draft than the Saints.
I love these picks, man. That made me.
You said that for every team. You've gone like anything beyond round 2. I love these picks, man.
What do you think about the Giants?
Abdul Carter was great. I did not understand coming back into the first round for Jackson Dart. Sorry, I don't see
the Saints. Saints were going to
get
Listen,
Marcus Rumbo, great value in the 5th.
I shit on Cam Scatterwell early in the offseason, but I kind of like his grit now. I just wish he would cut down on the attitude a little bit. But
very Danny Woodhead-esque. Very Rex Burkhead-esque.
Right. But a pretty decent pick in the 4th. I could see this being a B.
Now
they did great. I like this.
Jackson Dart's not going to be good.
They can't go lower than that.
However, I want to preface this. He's going to throw picks. That's not really going to matter when the defense gets on the field, immediately gets a strip sack, and then he'll just be able to throw more picks again. Because this is the scariest defensive line maybe I've ever seen.
He's not get hurt at practice.
You're adding Darius Alexander on the interior here to play with Dexter Lawrence, and then you got now Abdul Carter and Brian Burns. That's horrifying. Horrifying.
And they still have Thibodeau, right?
My guess is
they do. They accepted his 5th option. So I think what they're going to do is have a prove it year and then use him for some either like a better player or some draft capital.
I could totally see him getting dealt the deadline if they go into the season with them.
I'm thinking a B though.
I would say C just for the Dart trade, but definitely not a terrible draft.
No, I don't think the Dart. I don't. hate Dart at 25 though. Dart did really well at this was properly valued, in my opinion. I don't like Ole Miss, so
I did not
keep
have
that
on my
in
top
mind.
75.
It's a
This
good
was
pick.
properly
I don't know.
valued.
I had Dart in the 30s in my head, but
it's up to y'all. But I think this is I think this is a great draft. I think it's better than the Saints.
I could
100%.
see B. I can see the
humble man says better than the Saints. We put it at a B.
All right.
Ooh.
F.
What the cheeks?
Again,
this might be an F. You're right.
No.
This might
No. I was joking. I actually don't think this was a bad draft.
I think this is
This is cheeks. What the heck?
Okay.
Everything after
really good first three picks. First three picks
really
are
good,
all
great first.
I was gonna say everything in the 4th to the 5th is kind of a stretch. At
Arian
least
Smith
just takes my value.
Apparently, I don't remember where I saw this, so I can't give them credit. But apparently, the Jets only met with 2 receivers this entire class.
And then one of them was Arian Smith.
Do you want to know who the other receiver was?
I do, actually.
Kyle Williams.
Okay. Now Malachi Moore wasn't that bad, to be honest.
No,
they were
I had him in the 5th though.
They were talking to Malachi Moore like 3 years ago that he was like the next guy in that secondary once they lost Branch. I remember that very definitively. They were talking him up like he was the next big thing.
This is a C, probably, maybe D.
They lost me with the Arian Smith pick, but I think the rest of this draft's pretty fine. But I would say C or B.
It's just average to me.
It's an average draft.
Very good first 3 picks, though, I will say.
Oh man,
they let him do it again.
These first 2 picks.
They let him do it again.
The first 3 picks. I think Ty Robinson.
Every pick, literally every pick is good.
This is my S.
Cameron Williams in the 6th round.
I had him in the 1st round at
hometown
the
kid Kyle McCord as your backup.
Season.
Don't hate it.
Cameron Williams only had 1 year of starting experience, and he was one of the better outright tackles in the SEC. Now they're going to basically redshirt him, just get him in their system, and he's going to be the heir apparent for Lane Johnson. Highway robbery. That might have been the best pick of this entire draft.
Something about 6th-round offensive lineman. Something about 6th-round offensive lineman.
This one to be S tier.
If we could only
is this going to be our S tier?
If we're only putting one team in S tier, I think it's the Eagles.
I think so too. This draft is phenomenal.
Because it started with getting Jahad Campbell at 31, and then you get Makuba at 64, and then everything else is just great. Samal Mondon Jr. out of Georgia in the 5th.
It's Smile. His name's
Smile. I knew. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yes, smile a little bit, asshole.
Yes.
I still think the McCord might be the only thing that drops you out of the S tier, but I still understand it because he'll be decent.
He was good at Syracuse.
He led the entire country.
He was good at Syracuse, man. You gotta give him that. He
led the entire country, Kenny.
Sour grapes.
He was the number 1 quarterback.
That's all I'm saying. Sour grapes.
This was S tier.
Yeah, there's
I was
one.
saying it's the only argument you have out of S tier. I agreed it's S tier, but McCord to me is the only argument out of S tier. That's all.
All right. This is another good draft.
A.
Very, very rock solid draft.
I think Jack Sawyer is an absolute steal in the 4th.
I know Jack Sawyer. This is a Steelers guy too. Jack Sawyer in the 4th. Man.
He is a pure Steeler guy. I mean, I'm glad he went to Pittsburgh.
Talking about Steeler guys, look at
is he on your jersey list, Kenny?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Love
Caleb.
If I
this was a good draft.
Caleb Johnson. Let's talk.
I would say A or B.
Quick.
A or B.
I'd say A.
I don't hate A. Just because some of these, like this pick was good.
I think Will Howard is a good value in the 6th round, late 6th round as well. I think he could have gone 4th, but Will Howard fell into the 6th. I get it. I think that's a solid pick.
Yeah,
I came out of the college football
playoffs
liking Will Howard a lot. If I'm being completely honest, I actually thought he was.
I was nervous after the Oregon game, right after the Oregon loss. I understood that he got hurt during the game, but the way he handled himself in the playoff, the way he handled himself game in, game out, became a true leader in Columbus. Yeah, a lot of upside. I like it.
If he starts, he has the potential to be the best rookie quarterback in this draft class.
There's no. Call me an Aaron Rodgers hater. There's no way you can tell me he would be any worse this year than Aaron Rodgers. There's no way. There's no way you can tell me.
I get it.
Right,
okay.
This is a draft that started great and then kind of fell off a cliff.
It did start great.
Bored by day 2.
It did start great. What are you doing here?
So I will note Nick
That's
Martin
actually
was kind of
good
Nick
value.
Martin was considered a big reach, but I trust him with linebackers because now you have Robert Saleh back, and I think I would call him one of the better guys at just working with linebackers just based on who he's had with the Jets and the 49ers. Nick Martin was a guy, I think, like 6 games into the season, tore his MCL, like missed most of the year. So I'm assuming they felt good about what they saw and about his medical, so I can give him some grace there. Upton Stout, another guy. I think it's more of a slot. They needed a boundary guy.
Oh yeah. Who do they have at slot right now?
I'm pretty sure Lenore is kind of like tweener, but he's more of a slot guy.
Mm-hmm. And then they won't have Malik Mustafa now for.
Oh yeah, because he tore his ACL, right?
Yeah.
I trust Iowa linemen, especially.
Yeah, Connor. I can tell y'all, I've watched too much Connor.
No bias at all.
He's going to develop. He's going to develop well.
Michael Williams might have been my favorite player in the entire class.
Beautiful.
The more I look at it, I don't hate this draft. It's pretty decent. Pretty decent.
I would say
Jordan James is going to develop into a good running back. It's probably a good value pick in the 5th. I think it's a solid C.
I like C.
Yeah.
And I'm a Niners.
They're over the lines.
There's a lot of potential in that.
I'm sorry.
There's a lot of potential in the 49ers picks. It's just that all the potential has to pan out. Otherwise, it's going to look like crap.
I feel like we're going to be all over the place in the Seahawks.
Okay. This would get one of the highest draft grades for me if you didn't do this. Jalen Milroe in the 3rd. What are you smoking? Are you kidding me?
It's again, you guys.
This is the biggest project quarterback ever.
Yeah,
Jackson Dart won the 1st.
No, Jackson Dart is. Are you comparing?
Dylan Gabriel went in the 3rd. Dylan Gabriel went like 2 picks after this.
Yeah. He did, and I'm saying that I would not touch Jalen Milroe with the 7th round pick. He's worse than Anthony Richardson.
He's 21 years old. He's not going to be starting there. You can bake him into your system.
It's only the 3rd quarterback that their GM.
It doesn't matter if someone's not a good quarterback. How do you expect them to be a good quarterback in the NFL? This dude is literally an Anthony Richardson copy and paste.
They're not even the same kind of player. Anthony Richardson was like 6'5".
I'm talking about like their
6'5", 230.
Barely any college.
Not even the same kind of player.
Barely any college experience. Anthony Richardson played 1 year. You drafted him in the 3rd round based on
it's 2 years of starting experience.
Year and a half.
I would have put Jalen Milroe either
this was
late
a
4th,
pick. I'm sorry.
5th. I don't see him going in the 3rd round. I get it.
Yeah, that was.
I also didn't really like the Arroyo pick. I'm sorry. I wasn't sold on him.
You did so good with these first, like Nick Eamon-Wari in the 2nd.
Arroyo was a good pick. I thought that was
a guy. I think he has a lot of potential.
He proved himself. I think.
I think Arroyo was a fine pick.
Yeah,
I love how they were.
I thought it was a bit of a reach. That's all.
Jack Doherty loves this pick.
I mean, F.
Drafting Robbie was kind of head scratching to me.
I had him on my radar ever since that first Colorado State game. I think
that game was so good. Whew.
He was really good in that game.
That game was so good.
So I'm expecting good things out of him, hopefully.
I don't hate their last 2 picks either, though. I think they're okay, especially for the 7th round. Ooh,
not quite A.
I thought it was.
Connor, you get that mouse away. You get that mouse away.
I can't give him a
I thought you guys are overhating on Jalen Milroe. Like, he wasn't great this year, but
that pick was awesome.
He's young and he's got upside.
Yeah, so did Anthony Richardson, and we saw how that turned out. But I'm telling you, this is the number one.
But at least they didn't waste a 1st round on him.
Project. No, they didn't, but they wasted a 3rd.
True. I said, I had him in the 4th.
Right, we're talking about wasting 3rd rounders. There was an infinitely worse quarterback pick than this. Like 3 picks.
No, I agree.
Infinitely worse.
All right.
Let's go
here.
Am I the only one who didn't really get the Aguga pick? I think he's a great player, but like I just didn't get it.
I don't know if it fits the scheme, but I think it's a great value for the 19 spot.
Oh, yeah. Of course, Kenny's going to say Emeka Egbuka.
I had him at 20.
The best wide receiver in this draft class.
He was the best slot receiver in this draft.
Thank you, best slot receiver.
Oh yeah, he was. I'm not gonna hit on that.
Like I think he's a great player. I think
overall he was probably the 3rd best receiver at Ohio State this year. I mean, that's just it's crazy.
And that's kind of always been the thing with him. It's like he's always had to fight for targets. He's never been the number one guy. He's just always been really good.
No, very rarely drops it.
Don't hate Jack. I like this pick.
No,
Ben. I don't hate that one, and I don't hate Tyler Johnson
like
in the seventh. I think that's a steal. I don't know why he fell.
Jacob Parrish is a phenomenal pick.
I just don't know much about these two guys.
I like Elijah Roberts.
Elijah Roberts led the country in quarterback pressures in the 5th round. That is a great value.
He did not lead the country in quarterback pressures. Elijah Roberts?
Bantamweight champion of the world, Tez Johnson in the 7th.
This is a very solid draft.
If he could gain some weight.
I know you only see, they took 2 wide receivers, 2 quarterbacks, 2 edges, but that was their holes. That's what they needed.
Yeah, it was a fine draft. I'd say B.
Yeah.
I just didn't really get the.
I think it's one of the worst Bs, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah, this is one of those teetering teams, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got the best draft class.
Oh boy.
This to me, very solid B. Very solid B.
Good.
I'd say low B, but okay.
Good.
I like going home.
If I personally didn't draft Cam Ward, I would probably feel lower about this, but I think he has enough upside to where
this is the best pick right here.
No, their best pick. Go up to pick number what is that?
52?
120.
Gunnar Helm's one of their best picks.
Love the old.
Gunnar Helm's really good value.
I was joking.
DK was a little bit of a reach.
Alec Manor is a guy I'm very excited about.
Yes, this is going to be so fun.
As much as he did.
This is
someone on Twitter wanted those 2 receivers exactly in the day 3, and they got him, and it was really funny to watch the thread on that. But this is a good B. This is a good B.
It's better than the Buccaneers.
It's a low B, but I can see.
Our Cam Ward feeling can show that to B.
The last one.
Left hand up, baby.
Oof.
Always.
The tackle pick is a bit interesting given the trade for why am I blanking on his name? My brain's
Tunsil.
Yeah, Tunsil. I don't know why my brain's fried.
Well, he's old, Jack. How much longer are you supposed to play?
I'm old. Brother, I'm old.
Jalen Lane's a good receiver.
Well, you should get in that tackle spot then.
Trey Amos has good upside for that secondary.
I don't hate that pick.
Trey Amos at pick 61 was really good value. Yes. I like that pick a lot.
I honestly
thought he was going first. I was expecting him to
go pick.
I knew that Maxwell Hairston, they were high on him, especially after the Senior Bowl and then the Combine. They were real high on Maxwell.
I would love to know where exactly they're going to play Conroy. They're going to kick him in a guard, or is he the right tackle?
I think guard. I think he fits in at guard pretty well.
Who do you have? You have Cosme at guard right now? Who else do you have at guard?
They have Cosme for sure. I don't know offhand who their other guard is.
I don't hate the pick. This is not a bad pick.
Yeah, this is another. Again, not a ton of picks, but they did good. They did good at the top of the draft.
I think I liked Simmons a little bit better than Josh Connerly.
Yeah, but he didn't have the patellar tendon deal.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't like medicals. There's a ton of things.
All right, what are we doing?
I'd say C.
I would say C.
I just feel I think you could say most.
Okay, but we need a spot reserved for right here. So who had the worst draft in this?
Okay, so if we're reevaluating it, then I would either put the Rams or the Vikings at hell.
If we're only putting one team in hell, I would say it's Cleveland.
They should be punished for that.
I need to keep my mouth shut. My real vote.
I don't know. For Shador in the 5th, I don't think you can put it.
Exactly.
Hell.
I know.
That's the only thing. What did the
no. I'm not even talking about the Shador. I'm talking about the process of trading out of Travis Hunter and then taking Dylan Gabriel, the top 100 pick.
This was a good pick, and that's
about it.
I could see the Rams being the worst pick, the worst draft.
I don't know, man. I really liked Chris Paul. I really liked Josiah Stewart.
I can see. Oh, this was cheeks. This got to be the worst one.
Come on. I also said Vikings.
Vikings.
Let's go.
I'm gonna say Vikings. This one was cheeks. Come on,
Gavin Bartholomew could be solid.
Shador in the 5th round is better than everything about this.
They were far enough down for me that you can talk me to them just being the worst, just for a collective list.
Cheeks. Mm-hmm. Here, we'll rename it to Cheeks.
There we go.
Hell.
There we go.
Respect.
Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis + Ryan.
If we really want to get picky, we can make our own subtle tiers.
Ryan Grigson. Jordan Hunt.
Well, this is our 2025 draft grades. I think it's good.
I'm cool with this. I'm honestly,
I think
this
it's
is the
pretty good.
most we've actually agreed.
I'm not here to argue, but